Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 43.
Yes, welcome to
Welcome.
episode 43.
Welcome to episode 43 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. I realized one thing that I did not do on Twitch. It is my return stream, my return episode, so please forgive me. I did not finish the title of this episode, but we are reviewing the Elimination Chamber, that thing where people get into pods.
And there's chambers,
And there's
eliminations.
chain links and metal, and people jump off of things.
And there's, in one of these, a huge Mufasa Scar moment.
I guess, yeah, that's a thing. And yeah, people also jump off of them, and people also will chuck people off of it. Things happen in these things, but people get eliminated and only one remains. That happened.
Mm-hmm.
There was an event based on that. It happened. There was also this person, Ronda Rousey. I don't know if anybody knows of her. She was there. She was doing stuff there too. We're reviewing that show. Then we're going to switch it over. We're going to do some video game, wrestling news as well. And then we're going to go into video game news as well. Because there's a lot of stuff that actually happened in the last week.
Mm-hmm.
Video game world must have known I was back.
I guess so.
Anyway, guys, if this is your first time listening, we are the Super Grapple Bros podcast. We are a podcast about two brothers who are former WWE employees who happen to like video games and the wrestling and the video games. Put that in any order. We like to talk about both. Whew.
Yep.
All right. I'm good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up this stream headline on Twitch, and I'm going to let you, DMurph, go ahead and take us into Elimination Chamber. What did you think of Elimination Chamber?
I thought it was good overall. There were a couple of disappointments, but overall I thought it was a pretty good pay-per-view. Starting off with one thing that I actually got to watch, I'd say about half of which I actually enjoyed more than I thought I would, was the kickoff show of Gallows and Anderson versus The Miz Taraj. And I don't know why I was so surprised, because, I mean, all four of those guys can work in the ring and do a very good job of it.
Okay. Our audio on our stream is a little off, so I'm going to fix that really quick.
Uh-oh.
I know how to fix that. It's not a big deal. Doop. Boom. That should be good. Anyway, hello to Joker and Big Stupid, who let us know of that in the chat. A little reminder to you guys, if you are listening to this in the audio version or watching it back on YouTube, if you get involved in Twitch, you can join in the conversation with us live on the show.
We're live, pal.
Live, baby, live.
Mm-hmm.
And Joker says that Rhonda is his love. He hearts her.
But Rhonda is
He
pretty
double hearts her.
But Rhonda is pretty good, although I know a lot of people were trash talking her for her talking on the mic.
I didn't mind it that much. I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta understand, like,
It was also her first time.
it's her first time on the mic. She's just transitioning over. And, you know, people know her as a regular human being, not like a wrestler right now. So you gotta expect that, ooh, it's worse now. Okay.
Way to make it worse.
I'll make it better, though. We will do this, then. There. Hopefully that makes it better. If not, I can delay the video a little bit. I can work it around. Yeah, she's like I think it's fine that she's talking like a regular human being now, because she's only just starting and it works with her character. And yeah, like Joker said, she's learning on the fly. Like, you can't expect Ronda Rousey, like, to, after signing a contract maybe like, 6 months ago, to show up on the main roster and be like Alexa Bliss or Sasha Banks. Even Alexa Bliss wasn't Alexa Bliss. Like, it took Alexa Bliss
a while.
Like 3 to 5 years she was in developmental and in NXT before she came to the main roster. And then even then, like, it took her like a good
she didn't
half a year to like develop on the main roster, like fully come into her own, like, on the wrestling end.
I mean, she didn't even start really getting into the character that she has until she started everything that she did with Blake and Murphy on NXT, and that's when she got the character, and took her that long after getting the character. But one thing I will point out is I've been seeing videos of Ronda training in a ring for pro wrestling. I think I saw her training with Shayna Baszler. She's like on the same level as Shayna already.
Oh, that's gonna be so good. I mean,
the thing
are
that
you
was
really that
crazy
surprised though? Because like, she's one of the best fighters in the world. Like, I'm pretty sure she'll learn how to take a bump in a cell.
But what I mean is, this is how good it was. It was a matter of, most times you see people training. Like, an example I'll bring up is we saw the video of Eva Marie when she was training with Brian Kendrick a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
She looked pretty decent in that, and it was just like a one-on-one thing. This was her and Shayna training together, but then also like getting involved with people on the outside of the ring, like taking people down from the outside and doing elbows to people on the side of the ropes. So showing not only can she handle it one-on-one, but also she has the wherewithals to what to do in a multi-person match.
Which is important because that's what it's looking like she's going to end up with at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be, based on what happened that promo at Elimination Chamber, it's going to be Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie. Some people were holding on hope that maybe they would be able to sign The Rock and get The Rock to wrestle again, even though ever since Rock hurt himself at WrestleMania 29, his insurance and his agents have kind of been like, yeah, maybe you don't wrestle so much anymore.
Yeah.
Go ahead and show up and talk and maybe beat up Eric Rowan in 2 seconds, but just don't have a full-blown match anymore.
Yeah, at least not for a while.
So I don't know. I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if Rock is involved in WrestleMania somehow if his schedule permits it, but like maybe it was scheduling, maybe it's his insurance. In fact, they don't want him to get hurt.
Yeah, maybe WWE will fix their mistake from last year of not having The Rock as the musical talent performing You're Welcome from Moana.
Now I want that.
I
Now
wanted
I want
this
that.
last year, and they didn't do it. We got some rapper, I think it was Machine Gun Kelly or whoever. All I know is it wasn't The Rock, and I was upset. I was like, you had a great chance, guys.
Oh, God.
You just threw it away.
Well, if they do it, what could you say to them except you're welcome?
Well, we could say
What could-
thank you.
yeah,
Well, I
what
could
could
say
they
you're
say?
welcome for the idea. You're welcome. Just use it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we don't. It's not that Kurt Angle's not going to be a bad choice either. I was just kind of hoping that Kurt Angle was going to be involved in a singles match at WrestleMania, not a tag match, but alongside Ronda Rousey against Triple H and Stephanie, that should be good. Hopefully, Stephanie can still bring it. Her match with Brie Bella at SummerSlam a couple years ago was good.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call it like great or a classic, but it was good.
Yeah, she did a good job. Hopefully, she could bring that same.
And you know,
skill.
Kurt and Trips will bring it. And if Ronda's like as good as what you're saying, then that'll be good. What was that about?
That was from Raw this last week.
Oh,
Wait, I don't know if you saw.
I didn't watch Raw or SmackDown this week.
I'll just tell you one thing. They continued this whole thing with Triple H and Stephanie and Ronda and Kurt. And Triple H and Stephanie were like apologizing to Ronda and everything. And as they went to leave the ring, Kurt was literally just standing there like that. And Triple H just goes and just sucker punches him. And there have been so many memes about the way Kurt Angle's face looked before and during the punch. Because when he took the punch, he went from this to...
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Joker asks, do you think they're gonna make Ronda Rousey a female Brock Lesnar?
No, I don't think they're gonna.
I
make
don't think so.
Brock Lesnar, especially since they've got Asuka around.
Yeah, Asuka's the female Brock Lesnar right
Yeah.
now. I think Ronda is going to be a badass who beats the hell out of people, but I don't know if they're gonna elevate her to Brock Lesnar status. At least not yet. She might have something in common with Brock Lesnar because Brock's contract is up after this WrestleMania. So if it is and he doesn't come back and he goes back to UFC, what do you do with Paul Heyman? You could give him Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were saying is let Paul work with Ronda because he's amazing on the mic and she could use it.
Yeah,
Not saying
at
that
least
she's
until
terrible,
she gets a good grasp of being on the mic and having that kind of like charisma and chemistry that it takes to have a good promo. Have her be in there with Paul, and while Paul's cutting promos for her, she can do a little bit of talking, which is more than Brock can do, unless it's in a pre-taped segment, which he's good in that. Brock's good at that. Work on his strengths, but Ronda's better like actually like live
urine. It's in the game.
Hey, we're getting blood, vomit, urine part 2.
Yeah, basically.
At WrestleMania. And while Paul's with Ronda, he's an expert at talking on the mic, knowing how to work a crowd with that device in his hand. That pipe bomb is another Paul Heyman client would call it. And he can teach Ronda how to do all that.
Exactly.
Which fits perfectly.
One thing I want to point out, Joker pointing out Asuka versus Ronda book it. I wanted to say before you got into that, prediction that I have next year, WrestleMania, still undefeated WWE Raw Women's Champion Asuka versus Ronda Rousey.
I
title.
wouldn't be surprised if that's
my
what
prediction.
It is.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked at all, unless they want to push it forward to SummerSlam and they don't want Asuka's streak to run too long. If it doesn't happen at SummerSlam, I'm pretty sure it's going until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So the only thing, and then maybe I don't know what they would do for the SmackDown Women's Championship. It would be interesting. I just don't want. Sorry, I'm just worried about Bailey and Sasha Banks and Alexa and all them. All those other women getting lost in the shuffle, not getting a chance at having reigns the title. But then again, there was that hot potato segment or session like a year or two ago where now like Sasha, Charlotte, and Bailey are all like 3, 4, 5-time women's champions or whatever.
Bailey's 1-time. Sasha, I think, is 4-time, and I believe Charlotte is also 4-time.
Okay, but
yeah, but they've had Alexa holding onto the title for a while, and also, like you were bringing up, they've got the Superstar Shakeup coming up soon.
Yeah,
so
it's true. You could end up with all 4 horsewomen on the same brand, on the blue brand, and then you just have Raw be the Asuka and Ronda show that also has Alexa Bliss, and then maybe you move somebody like Naomi over. Maybe you have Natty over on Raw then. So
you've still got Nia over there too.
Yeah, that's true. I can't discount Nia. But while we're talking about the ladies, let's talk about how the ladies did in the Elimination Chamber, because that was the first match of the Elimination Chamber.
And I'm trying to see if I can remember everyone off the top of my head. The first competitors were Bailey and Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville. Followed by Mandy Rose. Then by
Sasha Banks.
Sasha, then Mickey, then Alexa.
Yep.
And the one thing that upset me about that match is the fact that both members of Absolution were eliminated first. It bothered me a little bit. Because of but that's mostly because of the fact that I'm a big fan of Sonya Deville and I see big things for her in the future.
I'm sure she'll do well. I'm not big on Mandy Rose. I think the reason why Absolution has kind of lost their steam is because of the Paige injury. When you don't have Paige wrestling and she's just a figurehead, like it really hurts the effectiveness of that faction.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. It's a very unfortunate situation, but they have to take it back in that situation. Mickey is a legend, future Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got to worry about your 2 big Raw women angles, which are Sasha Banks and Bailey, which I'm surprised that they're doing this without the championship on it. And then you've also got Asuka and Alexa that you got to worry about. So Alexa's got to win that. So like they kind of take a back seat in the division right now.
Yeah.
So, Joker, well, we'll get to that after we finish talking about the match. We'll get to what Joker said. But the match itself, I thought was really good.
Yeah,
I liked it. I thought I loved Mickey's crossbody from the top rope. That eliminated Sonya Deville, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah, eliminated Sonya. And I think it was Bailey and Sasha combined to eliminate Mandy Rose. It was like a backstabber into the Bailey to belly, right?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, I know it was a I forget whether it was like a backstabber into that.
It's technically the setup to the bank statement and part of the bank statement, so it was like a bank statement into into a Bailey to belly.
Yeah, but it was good. One of my favorite parts of that match though was everything Alexa was doing to get away from Sasha and Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, that was
I'm
gonna
go up here. Oh, you're gonna climb up to get me on the pot? I'm gonna climb out here. Okay, you guys are both here. I'm gonna climb down. No, wait, I'll go back up. No, I'm gonna go over here.
It looked like I was watching, what's the name there's an old school video game that I can't remember. It was almost like, was it Donkey Kong that had those levels? Where like, you would climb up onto like, it was like a 2D thing, and you would climb up like vines. You can move side by side on the vines and stuff like that. It wasn't Donkey Kong, but it was an old school. It was just reminded me of old school video games.
Yeah,
where it was like, Alexa Bliss was the main character, and like the enemies were Bailey and Sasha, and it's like you're the main character trying to control yourself and climb
and get away
get away from the enemies. It was hilarious.
It was like an Elimination Chamber Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah. And Big Stupid's got a good trivia answer for us if we ever want to ask it again in the future. Mandy Rose is the first woman to ever be eliminated in from both the Women's Rumble and the Women's Elimination Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not a couple of firsts that Mandy Rose wants to be a part of, but
yeah, still
it's history.
Yeah. It was a good match. Alexa won, which is what I guessed.
Yeah, which is what I expected. I thought when they had Sasha turn on Bailey, I was like, are they? And maybe think for a second, are they gonna have Sasha win and then maybe have Asuka be like, actually, I changed my mind, I'm going after Charlotte. But then no, then Alexa won.
Yeah.
And Alexa's promo was good.
Yeah.
afterwards.
You're not like me.
Well, it was interesting because like it allowed her to actually be the real, genuine Alexa person behind the character Alexa Bliss for a little while, and then just transitioned into her heel character. Be like, yeah, I was just kidding about all that. That was just a setup to make you guys feel like crap.
Yeah.
So it was very good.
Yeah, that match was good.
And then, if I'm correct, we followed that up with a not good match, which was the Bar versus Titus brand.
You know how I'm going to describe this? I'm not going to say it was a not good match. I'm going to describe it exactly as one of our friends, our mutual friends,
it was
stated online.
Match. It wasn't anything that was
This is how I'm going to state it. Ladies and gentlemen, this following match was the best match of Titus O'Neil's career. It's true.
That's true.
It was not a great match, but
it wasn't an awful match, but it was like, I was like, I'm not really invested in Titus brand. I know the Bar is good, but can they really carry them through a good match? Like, the quality of the matches the Bar have been having, like, compared to the other tag title matches that the Bar have been having, were ridiculous, arguably, like, show-stealing matches, and then this was, like, a tag match you would see on Raw, on a regular Raw.
And one thing I want to point out is I was getting kind of big on Titus Worldwide until Dana Brooke came around, and then she just kind of killed it. I'm just kind of like,
I haven't really watched any segments with Dana Brooke around, aside from the Raw 25 stuff, so it really hasn't bothered me much.
She's just so annoying. But anyway, this is set. I'm hoping this is setting up, as if you follow me on Twitter, you've been seeing me tweeting about that. I'm hoping the next challengers, despite the fact that it would be heel versus heel, is the Revival. Because apparently the Bar has been going around saying, like, there's no one on their level. They've beaten every team. And Scott Dawson and Jazz Wilder have been going around saying, well, actually, you haven't beaten every other team. But there is a team out there that has beaten every other team as well as beaten teams like the New Day and the Hardy Boys and teams like that. And you know who they are? They're the top guys, and we deserve a shot at the titles.
It would be nice to see them finally pull the trigger on the Revival, given how good they are, and it's just the injury bug just keeps biting them. And yes, Big Stupid, he is a hashtag Revival mark. FTR, by the way.
Hey, Forever the Revival.
Nope, not that one.
Forever the Revival.
Nope, not that one.
Because you know what? Name a better tag team on Raw.
On Raw? Let's see. The Bar. The Hardys.
Hardys aren't really a tag team right now.
Not yet, but that's because Jeff's injured.
True. But still, even with their
new
incarnation... Well, first off, I'm saying, with their new incarnation, they're not better than the Revival. Revival proved it by beating them. And with the Bar...
Oh, you can't
the
use...
Bar are
don't
great.
use kayfabe logic on me, because that doesn't work. Just because they beat them in a match doesn't make them better. We know how wrestling works.
Okay, well, I'll point out, no flips, just fists. They get the job done and make these matches amazing without having to be a spot monkey.
I'm not saying the Revival isn't a good tag team. I'm not saying the Revival isn't a great tag team. But honestly, they came in, they beat up some guys to build up their hype on Raw, and then they got injured. They haven't done anything yet. Have they done? They are arguably the greatest tag team to ever come out of NXT. Yes, I will give you that. But on the main roster, as much as I want to see them succeed, they have not proven anything yet. So you can't say they're the best tag team on Raw until they start putting really strong matches together. I would even argue, in addition to the Bar being better and the Hardys being better, I'd even say right now that the Bullet Club, the Balor Club, Gallows and Anderson are better because they've done more on Raw.
They have done about as much as the Revival in the time that the Revival's been on the main roster. The biggest thing the club has done since then has been this past show beat the Miz.
I don't know. Their rivalry with the New Day about a year and a half ago was pretty good.
Yeah, but I'm saying with you, Mr., in comparison and everything, they weren't even on the main roster yet, and they were on NXT. I'm not comparing
time frame though. I'm comparing what teams have done on the main roster.
I still think quality work in the ring. I think the Revival are the best that there is on Raw, and I think they deserve a title shot. And now that they are not injured,
that's a fair argument. I'm just saying, let's not
build up to it.
Let's not all jump on the Revival train until they prove that they can stay healthy on the main roster and can actually have a run. I'm saying let's give them a chance, but let's not go calling them the best team on Raw right now, because right now they're not.
I'm saying I think they are the best team on Raw.
Okay.
And I'm saying that if they were to, face the bar and lose, I could say, okay, they're the second best team on Raw.
Well, also it depends on how the match goes. If they lose but they end up outperforming and outshining the bar, then you could probably still say that they are the best tag team out there.
True.
So,
but anyway, now that we've talked about the main thing with the tag team division, which is the bar and the revival, let's skip past everything with Titus Worldwide and move on to the next match.
Yeah, what was the next match? They didn't do the contract signing until right before the main Elimination Chamber, so that must have been the next match must have been Nia versus Asuka, right?
It was.
That was a good match.
It was a really good match.
That was such a good match.
Which goes to show why I think Nia deserves to get an actual title shot.
I'm sure she will once Asuka wins it. I'm sure they'll have a good rivalry once I'm pretty sure. I think what's going to happen is, if I was going to predict what the women's division was going to do, is, I'll get to that in a second, Joker. Sorry. Thank you for the reminder. Is that Asuka's going to beat Alexa at WrestleMania. Alexa's probably going to get a rematch, lose. Alexa's still going to want a shot. Nia's going to emerge as the next challenger and probably defeat everybody else, while Bailey and Bailey and Sasha will probably be involved, but their mini rivalry will probably keep that, cause them to take each other out of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll get Nia versus Asuka, or maybe Nia versus Alexa versus Asuka. I think Nia's going to get her championship or main event in the women's division push, but it's going to happen after WrestleMania, once Asuka takes the title from Alexa Bliss.
My whole thing is, it's more of it's about time that it's going to happen.
Nia deserves
this showcase.
And Nia also, once Asuka loses the championship, to potentially, it's tough for Nia. You actually end up, I actually wonder if it would be better to maybe put Nia over
SmackDown.
Yeah, Big Stupid just said it. Almost perfectly in sync with us.
That,
it might be better to put, if you want to put a championship on Nia, it might be better to put her on SmackDown, because right now the current Raw plan is pretty much Asuka and Ronda are going to be your next two champions. It's how long are you going to leave Nia sitting there waiting when you know she could be a great women's champion? Maybe you got to move her over to SmackDown and have her maybe be the one who beats Charlotte and takes the title off of Charlotte.
Yeah. I approve.
Mm-hmm.
But to get to the Joker's point
of
should there be a women's tag team championship? My personal opinion.
Yep, I'll let you go first.
Yes, asterisk, if the women get their own solo show, kind of like they did with 205 Live. Because I don't really see how you could do a women's tag team championship when you've got two separate brands of women, in which you'd kind of need the full force of both teams to have enough teams for
it's hard enough for Raw and SmackDown to be able to make sure that they have enough time set aside for this growing women's division, that they have it dedicated enough. Plus, they have to make sure that there's dedicated time for their own tag division. Plus, they may have to make sure there's dedicated enough time for the male mid-card championship division, plus the male main event division. So, there's really no room to fit in a women's tag division right now. If they made a separate show that was just the women's division, or maybe both champions are on it, there's some singles matches, and then you got the tag division maybe as a main driving force, then yes. I also say, I think yes, there should eventually be one. I agree with you, but I also think not yet. But that's because I don't think the women's division is big enough yet.
Yeah, that's part of what I was saying. I think they would need, if they wanted to do it now, they need the women of both Raw and SmackDown in order to do it,
and probably some call ups from NXT.
Yeah,
because you need women who are going to be, unless you want this to be the women's tag division to be its own show, which I don't think it has the power. A new tag division has its own. Has enough oomph on it to survive on its own. I think it needs the singles wrestling, and it needs a singles women's champions on that show. So you need women who are going to be competing in that division, not a part of a tag team. So you need a singles division, and then you need a tag team division separate from that's on that show. And the women's division isn't deep enough, I feel, to have a singles division and a tag division at the moment. So they need to call people up from NXT and then have a new crop of NXT come up. By the way, I just like to say, Torsten, thank you for the follow.
Yeah. If they were to do something where they gave the women their own show and had it have single matches and everything, but the main driving thing be a women's tag team championship, if they did it where it was women from all more or less three brands, you could kind of do it, because then you could have Team Rude of Alexa and Naya, and you could have Lana and Tamina, and you could have Peyton Royce and Billy Kay, and then you could even bring like the Bella twins back every now and then if you want to do something like that. You could get some teams together, but like you said, you need everyone working together and have it be the focus of a show.
Yeah.
So right now, not really possible, but I would love to see that happen one day.
And Big Stupid agrees with us. It says, in theory, yes, but only until the roster is deep enough.
Yeah.
All right, so then we're moving on to the Ronda Rousey contract signing, which we kind of already went over and talked about.
Yeah.
It was a good segment. Triple H went through a table.
Triple H
awkwardly.
went through a very, very obviously pre-cut table.
Yeah. Well, Ronda kind of almost threw him.
Yeah,
Ronda almost threw him, and he almost leapt over the table instead of going through it, but I still liked it. I thought the segment was really cool. I liked how Kurt was like going along with everything. He's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, they said this," and he was almost like the Zoidberg, like, and then like Triple H's like, "Come on, Kurt, get the hell out of here," and he's like, "Okay, I'm going. By the way, this.
And like I said, Monday, it was basically. If you really mean it, you should apologize to me. And Stephanie gets right in her face. You know what, Rhonda? You're right. I'm sorry. And apologizes to her. And as they go to leave, they're writing. Triple H is like, oh, by the way, bam! Just lays Kurt out before he can say anything. It's getting better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good angle. You know, I mean, Kurt and Triple H have had great rivalries themselves in the past, and Stephanie is a great heel on the mic. She can cut an amazing promo. She's just as good as her father is.
Although she sometimes tries to channel it a little too much, and her voice gets a little too hoarse,
a little too Vincey.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and then you've also got Ronda Rousey, which is the star power, which is going to bring people who aren't like normal wrestling fans in, which is going to be awesome. I think it's going to be a very entertaining angle. The match might not be like 5-star, like, oh my god, I can't believe this, like, kind of quality, but it's gonna be good, it's gonna be entertaining, it's gonna be fun, and that's what matters, because wrestling should be fun.
Exactly.
Then we've got the main event
of
the evening, right?
Then we have what I find the other disappointing match of the night, or at least disappointing.
Oh yeah, Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. Yeah. It was okay. It was a good match.
It was okay, but as I said last week when you weren't here, as I say to everyone, I feel like I would be really into this match if it happened a lot sooner in this capacity.
Yeah, if Raw 25 didn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, especially with Raw 25, it kind of killed it because, I mean, they started doing this rivalry, like 3 months ago?
Mm-hmm.
And now they're finally having a big blow-off match after 3 months of basically stalling.
Okay.
It kind of upsets me, and it looks like they're going to continue to try and do it again at WrestleMania, and hopefully it's better at that point. But I mean, it was just like I said, they waited too long.
I wonder where they're gonna go from here now, because Bray beat Matt in unconvincing fashion on Raw 25 with a thumb to the eye. Matt just beat Bray clean in the middle of the ring. So like, what are they gonna do? Are they just gonna try to out weird each other even further? Like, is Jeff gonna come back and have something to do with it? Will Jeff be Brother Nero? Maybe they'll decide they don't want to do Brother Nero and they want to have a little like just be crazy, and maybe they'll have like Jeff come back and be a member of the Wyatt family somehow, some way.
Yeah.
He's been brainwashed by Wyatt, and then maybe like Matt has to waken him up and he becomes Brother Nero when he gets pulled out of the Wyatt family. I don't know. I'm just trying to spitball and think of a way that this could be somewhat interesting.
I'm just gonna sit here and agree with Big Stupid, who said, "Think about how good it could have been if they didn't destroy Bray Wyatt."
Yeah, if the character wasn't just beaten over the head with a bloody like rusted pipe for the last year.
I think
it was going so good until pretty much that WrestleMania match. And then, so for the first 2 months of 2017, it was going really well. Then that WrestleMania match happened. Those projecting things were really weird. And then the match wasn't that great. Then the House of Horrors thing. The House of Horrors was cool, but then he lost again. And then they just didn't know what to do with him. There were 6 to 8 months of him not really doing much. He had a little bit of hope in the Money in the Bank match. And then whole lot of nothing. Then he had a rivalry with Finn Balor where they had him cross-dress. And now we're here.
Well, he was. I do also want to point out one thing that you did miss is he was involved in that, fatal 5-way match to determine a #1 contender for Brock Lesnar that one time. And he did good in that, and they built him up a little bit, but then as soon as that was over, it was, oh, by the way, we're going to pair you with Finn Balor. By the way, you're a woman sometimes now.
Yeah. Yeah, they haven't been able to bring Bray Wyatt back, and if he faces Matt Hardy, he's probably gonna lose, which means his reverse Undertaker streak will continue.
Yeah,
like Bray Wyatt could have been the next Undertaker, and they've royally messed him up. By the way, hello to Swagbox, by the way, in the chat.
What they really need to do with Bray Wyatt is they need to have Bray Wyatt disappear for a little while. Like, legit, like, no mention of him, stop having him on TV, just gone for a little
And
bit.
then he just mysteriously comes back and starts beating, just destroying people.
Like, think about it this way. Let's say AJ Styles is still champion or whatever, or Shinsuke or whoever is still champion on SmackDown. You have Bray disappear for a little while after WrestleMania, and then say around Money in the Bank, he just shows up for the Money in the Bank. Like, they're saying, like, oh, there's going to be a mystery contender in the Money in the Bank match, and then all of a sudden Bray Wyatt shows up in the middle of the match and wins the briefcase.
And, like, maybe the match starts without him in it, and it's like, well, I guess we're receiving word the match has started, and the sixth entrant will be in the match, just has not made it to the ring yet, but he is still a part of the match. And then it's just like, you don't know who this sixth person is. When is he going to show up? And then maybe somebody's about to win the match, and then, BAP! Everything goes black, and then, like, BAP! Comes back. There's Bray Wyatt right there on the top of the ladder, just staring at somebody in the face and laughing.
Well, I was going to say, this is an idea I had a while ago, which is you have the Money in the Bank ladder match going on, and then all of a sudden the arena goes dark, and then the arena comes back on, and the briefcase is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then later in the night, they do the whole Bray Wyatt thing, and it comes back, and he's standing in the ring with the briefcase, cashes in, wins the title. I think that would be a huge thing that could boost him up and give him something to start working with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I like that idea for an ending of a Money in the Bank match, because it's kind of weird. But at the same time, they did have James Ellsworth win a women's Money in the Bank ladder match. So, you know.
Yep.
I use quotation marks for people listening on the audio version. Big Stupid says, at this rate, you know, Bray was WWE champion. Now this, he sighed. Which, yeah. I mean, I'm enjoying what I'm hearing about the promos and stuff from this angle, and the matches are good. It's just,
it's not great.
Yeah, it's not great, especially with what happened last year. Joker thought that it was a good idea to have with the Money in the Bank stuff. By the way, happy Rusev Day.
Happy Rusev Day.
Happy Rusev Day, everyone. Happy Rusev Day to you, all of you out there. Swagbucks, we'll answer your question once we finish the main event.
Which is next. Which is the first ever 7-man Elimination Chamber match to determine when them were contender for the Universal title at WrestleMania.
Good. I really liked it. It was predictable, but I liked it. I really liked it.
I remember I was watching it and I said to someone, like, I texted him while I was watching it, like, oh, I'm guessing that they're gonna get rid of Braun Strowman by having everyone in the match take turns hitting their finisher on him, and then everyone pinning him at once. And then I thought about it for a second. I said, no, they're gonna do that, and they're gonna have Braun kick out from that. And they did that.
That was awesome. Braun Strowman was so over in this match. I think he is, like, in orbit of the earth. That's how over he was in that match.
Yeah.
Like, how strong they made him look. He eliminated everybody except Roman, who won the match.
And he smashed the record of most eliminations in one match, obviously.
Yeah, with 6. And he kicked out of everybody's finisher.
Yep.
Everybody hit him in rapid succession with their finishers, and he kicked out of them.
Yeah. It was insane.
Like, Jesus Christ. They're going to do something big with Braun. I think they might give him the Intercontinental Championship. Because, like, how the hell does Miz win that match if they do him versus Miz?
Well, here's what they're doing right now.
Or are they going to do something different with him now?
I don't know if it's 100% true, but I think they might be trying to do something with, like, Braun and Elias or something. I don't know. I haven't been paying too much attention to it. But I know what it looks like they're doing for the Intercontinental Championship is it looks like they're going to be having a triple threat match at Mania of Miz versus Rollins versus Balor for the Intercontinental Championship. That's what they're seeming to build up to right now.
That'd be interesting. Maybe what they'll do is they'll give Cena Strowman. Cena versus Strowman would be entertaining.
They've done it once before on a Raw, but I would love to see them go.
I think it'd be a good match, especially since Cena doesn't have anything, and we don't think that Undertaker's showing up.
He might. We don't know. I know their plan for a while has been doing or John Cena versus Undertaker at WrestleMania. That's been their plan. There's just been nothing about the Undertaker on TV since Raw 25. And like I had mentioned to you before we started recording, they did a brief thing on Raw where John Cena jokingly said he was going to call out the Undertaker because he needed something to do at WrestleMania. So it's kind of seeming like they may do it. I don't know. But the match itself was good. As I mentioned to you before we started recording as well, the only thing that upset me about it really is the fact that Braun eliminated everyone except for Roman, which, I mean, I'm not complaining that much about. I was just hoping that they would have, what's it called? They would have Braun eliminate a few people, and then when it got down to like the final 3 or 4, whatever, have the group of guys that were left work together and beat him then, and then have it be like Reigns and Rollins and Balor to end it or something like that. But
yeah,
that's not what happened. But Roman won, which was not a surprise, and I can't say I'm too upset with it, partially because you know how they say that the final stage of grieving is acceptance? I think I've reached that. And I know that Roman is a good wrestler. He's good on the mic. He's good at everything. So I won't mind seeing him versus Brock, despite the fact that this is predicted.
I think it's going to be a good match.
Yeah.
And this gets to what Swagbox was asking. Like, what do we think about Roman? Like, I like Roman. He's a good wrestler. He's turned into a good wrestler with good charisma. The only thing that sucks is just that things are predictable with him. And even with things being predictable, like, I don't mind if it's predictable so long as it's good. The only thing that I have against this thing with Brock and Reigns is that they use the Undertaker as a method to have it, which you didn't really need that. Also, we've done this before at WrestleMania, and it didn't go well. But, like, we saw that happen. Like, and Roman is main eventing his, like, what, 4th WrestleMania now?
Yeah.
In a row. So it's like, it's more of like a, like, I don't want, like, it's not so much that I don't like Roman, it's just I like seeing different people. Unless it's somebody like
nice
The Rock or John Cena, who's like Mount Rushmore of wrestling good. Like, I don't want to see the same people in the main event year after year after year. That's the only thing. Like, that's the only thing I have against Roman. It's like, oh, well, Roman's in the main event again. Like, or Roman. If Roman isn't going on last and they do Shinsuke AJ, that'd be great. And maybe they will, because maybe they don't want because you got to know what the WrestleMania crowd is like. And you know that they will boo the hell out of Roman if he wins, or when he wins, when he beats Brock. Stop it. Stop trying to make yourself invisible. You're not John Cena. So I still am looking forward to the match. I'm looking forward to the match. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be entertaining. Those two beating the hell out of each other was fun at WrestleMania 31. I was hoping for something different, just because I didn't want to see Roman in the main event again. I wanted to see him I wanted to see somebody else in that position.
Yeah.
But it's nothing against Roman. It's more me wanting to see different people every year in the main event of WrestleMania, or if it's the same people in different situations or whatever. Like,
yeah,
it feels like it's still them trying to drive the same point home about Roman. But that all said, now that it's happening and it's going to happen, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to hate on Roman. I'm going to enjoy the match. I'm going to watch it. I think it's going to be fun.
And Big Stupid, I'm not gonna read the entire thing he said, but I'm just gonna reply up. I think the reason they're not putting the title on Strowman at Mania is because of the fact that they're gonna put the title on Roman at Mania. And let me ask you this: Did you like or did you dislike the rivalry they did between Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns for months?
I know where you're going here.
Exactly. They'll have Roman win and then throw Strowman at Roman, and they'll feud for a while.
That's the good.
That's amazing.
That's the great thing. If anybody out there is upset that Roman Reigns is in the main event and is going to win the championship at WrestleMania again, think of it this way: who's going to be the number one contender after him? It's going to be Braun. Like, maybe not right away, because maybe they'll hold off on that until for the big SummerSlam rivalry. But just remember how good, as much as you hate, some people might hate Roman, if you think that Braun versus Roman was a bad rivalry, you are biased or lying, because that was one of the best rivalries, if not the best rivalry, of this last 12 months. And we're going to get that for the WWE Universal Championship at SummerSlam. And there's a chance that Braun will probably, maybe possibly finally win and get a Universal Championship reign.
And I'm also going to point out, if they do wait to have Braun beat Roman for the title at SummerSlam, think of all the other people that they could put Roman in a match against for the Universal title. There's people like Seth Rollins, who he's absolutely killed it with. Finn Balor, who he's absolutely killed it with. Samoa Joe, who he's absolutely killed it with. They've got all these people that they could put him in a match against. Hell, they might do him versus Cena again, which he absolutely killed it with. And it's a matter of, you have all these guys to have great matches and rivalries for months until you get it up to Strowman, and you know they're going to kill it, and Strowman's going to win, and he's going to kill it with all those guys as well. And I don't really see a point in complaining, because yeah, this is a predictable main event that we're getting at Mania, but it's going to lead to so many good stories and rivalries and matches from here on throughout the rest of 2018.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to what's going to happen. I think it's going to lead to good things going forward. We're both in agreement with that. The Elimination Chamber match itself was really good. Strowman looked good. Roman looked good. Miz, for what he did, looked good. Elias played his role incredibly well. Cena, and Balor did really well as well.
Yes.
So that is it for Elimination Chamber. Overall, I really liked it.
I thought it was good.
I thought the Elimination Chamber matches delivered. Asuka versus Nia was good. I liked the segment with Ronda. The only Hardy and Wyatt was and Bar versus Titus Brand was But if you're gonna have a pay-per-view and only 2 matches are that's actually pretty good pay-per-view.
Yeah, I agree.
So we got a couple questions before we transition over. Let me just check on stuff. Big Stupid asked, do you think with them going back to dual pay-per-views that they will have a Raw and SmackDown Money in the Bank? Maybe they might do. Because they also got to do, probably not actually, because they also now have the women's Money in the Bank match. They'll probably just have 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches, and it'll be like the golden briefcase that like Rollins had or whatever, where it's just like one, like it'll be like a six man, 6 woman Money in the Bank ladder match, 3 people from each brand, and whoever wins will get to challenge whatever champion they want.
Yeah, probably.
So I think that's what it'll be like that. Why aren't they giving Finn Balor a title shot? Because right now they want to do stuff with Roman.
Yeah. And
Balor will eventually get a title shot. I think they're going to build up the Balor Club. I don't think you have to worry about Finn Balor. Finn Balor is still relatively young. He's very talented, and he's going to get championship shots. And he's going to win a championship again. And
I think it's quite possible that he walks away from Mania with the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah. So I don't think anybody's got to worry about Finn Balor. I think he's just in a state right now where like they want to focus on other people. The main event is not like a set in stone thing where like once you're demoted from the main event, you're never going to get a championship again. The only thing I worry about as far as like why aren't people getting title shots is if they've been killing it for a really long time and haven't been getting title shots, or it feels like it's perceived in the back that they're not like an A player, they're a B+ player, like the Daniel Bryan situation, CM Punk, or if it feels like they're towards the end of their career and they haven't won a championship yet. Those are the only times where I feel like people need to have it. But they've already given Finn Balor the Universal Championship. He was skyrocketed in NXT. They're treating him well now with the Balor Club. He was well protected and did well in the Elimination Chamber. He was taken out by Braun, but so was everybody else. Mm-hmm. So like, and if he ends up in the Intercontinental Championship match and he ends up winning, like, he's being treated well. He's fine. There's nothing to worry about with Finn Balor.
Yeah.
And then what else do we got here? Big Stupid heard a rumor that with bad ticket sales on SmackDown, there's been an internal push to have Cena win and challenge Nakamura at Mania. I don't think they'll do that.
And if
because that's the plan, and they've been promising that to basically the real wrestling fans, or the hardcore wrestling fans, because we're hardcore wrestling fans. We want to see it. Yeah. I feel like this too. Like,
I'm just gonna do quick mind reading prediction here, looking into the future. I see them not doing that because if they do, sales will drop even more.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think if you do that after you've pretty much promised the hardcore wrestling fans, which make up the majority of the WrestleMania crowd, and you throw Cena in there, like, I like Cena, but that would make me want to boo that match.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to. That's not the match I want to see. It has nothing against John Cena. It has nothing against Shinsuke Nakamura. It's one of those situations where the fans, they will boo the crap out of that match, and it is not. They're not booing the superstars. They're booing the backstage politics and the booking decisions behind it.
And also, that would also mean screwing AJ Styles over, kind of.
Yeah. And then what do you do with AJ Styles at WrestleMania?
Exactly.
You don't do AJ Styles
you have him
like
face
that.
The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. Unless they do something
the
where it's like
one versus the Phenom.
Unless they do something where it's like Cena wins and AJ enacts his rematch clause, and then you got a triple threat match, which kind of upsets me because I want to just see Shinsuke versus AJ in a rematch from their New Japan match. But I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I know that AJ and Cena can go, AJ and Nakamura can go. But it's not the match I want to see. I guess I could be okay with it. It's not as bad as just taking him out.
Joker was asking, who's the older brother?
Oh, I'm the older brother by 2 years. Yep. 2 años. No. Big Super says he hopes that that's not, but that's never stopped him before. It has. Yeah. It has. Look at Daniel Bryan. Mm-hmm. Look at the Daniel Bryan situation. They tried so hard to not get Daniel. Well, they tried, like, and this isn't me talking insider knowledge. I know this was during the time I was employed. I'm not using insider knowledge. I'm not telling you guys any inside information. This is me as a fan based on what I saw there. I didn't really know anything about the Daniel Bryan situation when I was working there internally from a booking perspective. But it seemed like they did not want to put him in that main event, but the reaction was so vitriolic and filled with hatred by the fans. Fans hated it so much they basically forced WWE's hand. They changed their minds. So, we'll see. Maybe they put Cena into that championship match. It wouldn't be the match that I absolutely want. But don't touch that. We're not doing predictions. Put that away.
I'm still the champion.
It doesn't matter.
Unhand me, sir.
Can we? You made me lose my point. Like, that triple threat match, yes, I wouldn't mind it. It would be really good. And you're not screwing over AJ, and we will get the AJ Nakamura thing, but it's not absolutely what I wanted. I wouldn't be as excited and love the match as much as I feel like. I feel like I would enjoy that match, whereas I would absolutely love and go ape bleep over Styles Nakamura.
There's 2 things I want to point out before we move on, and one is related to something that Cameron said. But the first thing I want to point out is...
Wait, hi, Cam.
See, yeah. Hey, Cam. One thing that I would not mind seeing is whoever they do in the match at Mania, Nakamura walking up with the title. And then soon after that, they do the Superstar Shakeup. And we see AJ Styles
go over to Raw and join the Balor Club, and they rename it just the Club.
And see something that we haven't seen since the Attitude Era of having Finn Balor, hopefully at Mania, winning the Intercontinental Championship. Having, at some point, the, the Gallows and Anderson win the Raw Tag Team titles. And then see AJ, at some point, win the Universal title and have them hold all the titles at once.
Maybe.
I think that'd be real cool.
Then you can have them blow up and Balor and have Balor and Styles have an awesome kick-ass Universal title match.
Exactly. And the other thing I wanted to say... Cam said that he wanted to see Cena versus Mysterio because he wants.
I would love that, and that would be a perfect fit for Cena if Mysterio comes back.
Is a hitch in that, which this is something that happened while you were in Stanford that I forgot to mention to you.
What I know, does Mysterio have like contractual obligations with other people or a date that he can't like take off?
Well, he just basically pulled a Chris Jericho. He sent a video over to New Japan and has called out Jushin Thunder Liger.
Huh.
So,
well, as we've seen with WWE with Jericho, that doesn't necessarily mean that Mysterio signed a contract with New Japan. It doesn't necessarily mean that he can't compete at WrestleMania if it's just for WrestleMania.
But, I mean, the only thing we've seen Jericho do lately is show up for a very short thing on Raw 25. He's been mostly focused on that. So I have a feeling that Ray will be mostly focused on that because it's 2 of the most legendary masked wrestlers in the world going at it.
Yeah, we'll see.
So
Liger's also old as bleep.
Yeah, Mysterio killed a guy.
Let's not even joke about that. because that's legit.
Yeah, well, I'm just pointing out.
It's not
Everyone has their faults. I mean, it wasn't on purpose, but
Yeah. So Cam said that's just a one-off with New Japan. So who knows? Like Mysterio could do a program just for WrestleMania, like sign a limited contract for just WrestleMania, and then go do his New Japan thing, and then come back. Or maybe he signs a contract with WWE where he still gets to do his New Japan thing and only that one New Japan thing. So we'll see.
yeah.
So let's see.
But anyway, so other couple things to talk about with wrestling other than Elimination Chamber that has happened. On Raw, Brock Lesnar was supposed to show up. Everyone said he was going to show up, and he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly why, but he didn't.
Some people are saying that that they changed their minds, like booking changed their minds beforehand and decided to tell Brock, never mind, don't come. We've got a better idea, and we'll just have it say that you no-showed.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also what happened with Cena, where he basically came out, joked around about calling out The Undertaker, and was like, I'm going to take my journey to WrestleMania over to SmackDown. And then he showed up on SmackDown, and they're like, okay, you versus AJ. If you win, you get in the main event. And AJ got in the main event. And everyone, including Rusev, has been like, why is everyone else getting in this main event?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel really bad for Rusev, because Rusev ain't going to get in that match, and he deserves to.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, he can be happy because it's Rusev Day. Happy
True.
Rusev Day.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that I want to point out quickly is starting this next week, starting on Wednesday, is the start of the Dusty Road Tag Team Classic. And I went over the card with you beforehand. Do you remember what I said it was?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. Yes.
So just for you at home, I'll go over quickly. First side of the bracket, we've got the Street Profits versus Heavy Machinery. And then the winners of them will face the winners of the finals from last year, Authors of Pain versus TM61. And then on the other side of the brackets, you've got Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli versus Sanity. And then you've also got Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch versus Mustache Mountain. It's going to be a hell of a tournament.
It's going to be lit.
Yeah. And who do you think is going to win the tournament? Because I think I know who's going to win.
Really don't know. I want to say TM61, but it's probably going to be Authors of Pain.
I'm saying TM61. I think it's their time to shine.
I hope it's TM61.
I feel like if it's
we'll
not...
see.
I don't think Authors of Pain are winning the tournament.
I think whoever is going to win that match is going to win the tournament.
I think it's going to be either TM61 or, if they really want to pull out the long shot,
Street Profits?
maybe Street Profits. But I'm thinking it's TM61.
I think Street Profits is going to get through Heavy Machinery, but then run into a wall when they face the winner of TM61 or Authors of Pain.
Yeah. And they faced Authors of Pain in a number one contendership match a few weeks ago and lost to them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I don't think they're going to win, and I think TM61 is going to win.
Big Stupid is picking Heavy Machinery, which that's a reasonable pick.
Yeah, but I mean, once again, they're going up against the Street Profits, and they've been pushed harder than Heavy Machinery.
Cam wants TM61 to win, but he would love Mustache Mountain to win. I don't know if they're going to have Mustache Mountain win just because they're not signed officially.
Which, that's another thing that happened, actually.
What's that?
This week on NXT, we got Velveteen Dream versus the man that he's been calling out more or less the last few weeks, Tyler Bate. And guess who won that match?
Velveteen.
Yep. But it was a very odd thing where it looked like they head-butted each other by accident, and he was able to hit the Purple Rainmaker after that and pin him. So I think they're going to do...
Fluky finish.
They might do like a bit of a rivalry between the two of them, especially since Velveteen has been saying crap about him.
That would be cool to see.
Yeah, I would not mind that.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. So, there's that going on. Oh, and also, we've got the tournament going on for 205 Live, in which this week I have started. I'm watching 205 Live every week now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, this week.
Is it good? Is it really turned around?
I'll put it this way. This week, you had 2 matches for an hour-long show. 2 matches. First match, TJP versus Cedric Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
Really good match. And the second match, Roddy Strong versus Kalisto.
Ooh.
And next week...
Yes.
next week, we are getting Buddy Murphy versus Mustafa Ali,
Okay.
in which I don't know
Okay.
if you've seen, Buddy Murphy has a crazy new finisher.
Does he now?
Yeah, it's basically he gets you for a pump handle, picks you up, and then like flips you around and drops you on your neck in kind of like a spinning
suplex?
Samoan drop.
Oh, wow.
It's
That's sick.
pretty crazy.
Cam says 205 Live is massively improved. It's insane. Who would have thought you make the cruiserweight show better by letting the cruiserweights act like cruiserweights?
Well, not only that, Drake Maverick, formerly Rockstar Spud, has been doing a good job as GM. And then the other match we're getting next week is one that I'm kind of excited for. Drew Gulak versus Mark Andrews.
Ooh.
So I'm really hoping Mark Andrews pulls it out. Andrews. As I said last week, I'm really hoping that he at least makes it to the finals at WrestleMania. I don't think he will, but
you're
I'm
making me
hoping.
want to watch 205 Live again now.
It's real good. Because, I mean, think about it. The next round of the tournament on the one side of the bracket is going to be Cedric Alexander versus Roddy Strong.
Oh, man, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's getting real
who ended
good.
up winning Buddy Murphy versus...
That's happening this next week.
Okay.
Buddy Murphy versus Mustafa Ali
right.
and Drew Gulak.
I don't know who I want to win that because, like, I feel like I want to see Buddy Murphy succeed because I liked him when he was with Alexa Bliss and
Wesley
Blake. But at the same time, Mustafa Ali is also really good, and I want to see Mustafa Ali succeed as well.
I'll point this out to you. I think it was Sean Davari, who Arya Davari, sorry. Arya Davari, who faced Buddy Murphy in the first round, and he was saying, "Oh, I'm so upset that he had lost, blah blah blah." And I'm trying to remember his name. Someone from The Best Friends. Whatever. He tweeted at him like, "Bro, he had video packages and shit. There was no way you were gonna win." So I have a feeling Buddy Murphy is gonna win and continue on, but still.
Yeah, Joker.
Yeah.
Buddy Murphy's still employed by WWE. He's now on 205
good.
Live, and apparently he's really good now.
Yeah, he got a new haircut. He's gotten ripped.
Oh, yeah?
Like, whoa. And I'm just going to point out, I'm not too surprised that he's still employed by WWE because he is in a relationship with Alexa Bliss. So.
Yeah. Cam also says that he loves Mark Andrews, but he thinks Drew Gulak's been amazing the entire year, so he thinks that Gulak should pull it out over Andrews, which I wouldn't be I would be okay with. Again, none of the British guys are like officially signed, so I think it's like whenever WWE comes in and is like, yeah, you guys, yeah, like we could use you guys for a couple matches. Like, can you come in and do a couple matches? They just come in like, yeah, cool, sure.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I would love to see Mark Andrews make it to the main event, or to the end of the tournament and make it to WrestleMania. But I have a feeling that the person,
Chinese,
I think the person is going to end up winning this tournament. Personally, I think it's probably going to be Cedric.
Who else is left in the tournament now? It's Cedric,
and next week he's facing Roddy Strong.
Roddy,
and then on the other side you've got Buddy Murphy, not Davari, Mustafa Ali. And then you've got Mark Andrews and Drew Gulak.
I think it's going to be... Yeah, I think whoever wins out of Cedric Roddy is going to win the entire tournament.
That's what I'm guessing, too.
That's my pick. And they'll probably face either Gulak or Buddy Murphy.
Yeah. I'm hoping that it's Andrews. But who knows? Because he's so good. But... who knows? We'll see what happens. I'm also starting to wonder what they're going to do with Pete Dunne. Because I feel like they're going to have him there at least for TakeOver New Orleans. But we'll see. Yeah.
Cam says, yeah, the British guys are on retainer. So they can't sign anywhere else rather than contracted. Okay. Swagbox asking if we've seen stuff between former Colts punter, Pat McCaffrey, and Adam Cole. Going to be exciting tomorrow for NXT Indy.
Yeah, they were announcing that he's going to be on NXT. And Adam Cole's like, who cares? He's coming to my show. And this guy has been like, you better watch your mouth. And Adam Cole's like, all right, bring it.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Which that's actually another thing that happened on NXT this week that was rather interesting. There was a match between Adam Cole and Cesaro Bononi, in which it started off with Adam Cole pointing out that he won the NXT awards for Future Superstar of NXT. So he offered him membership to Undisputed Era. And then he apparently took too long to think it over, so he attacked him. And they had a relatively short match, but...
oh, boy.
Love Adam Cole. He's so good.
Yeah. All right. Anything else wrestling wise?
Stuff still going down between Bullet Club and the Golden Lovers, and we're getting ready for Omega versus Cody to determine who's the true leader of the Bullet
Kenny
Club.
versus Cody.
Kenny.
I can't get over that. I just love the way that Japanese fans pronounce his name in the stands. Kenny.
Oh man, it's so good. But yeah, that's about it for now.
Cool. That means we transition from wrestling over to video game news, and whether you do the jingle or not, we're starting with this story, so you better do it now.
We got our weekly Overwatch news here.
Right in my ear again. That's something I did not miss.
Well, too bad. So this week with Overwatch news, they've been dropping, since I last did this podcast, they were dropping a bunch of hints about the next hero / possible event for Overwatch. And it turns out that it is Brigitte, who is Torbjorn's daughter and a squire of Reinhardt.
Interesting.
In which the entire idea of her character has basically been, she's an engineer like her father, she's been working on Reinhardt's armor, but she hates to see how much he's been beaten up over time. So she wants to get in the fight so she can make sure that they don't get hurt to begin with. And she is a support / tank, in which
RIP headphone users from you.
Sorry about that. But yeah, she has a flail and a shield that she uses. She can do a bash with the shield, and she could hit with the flail a little bit of a distance, and has a special move where it launches it kind of far. They refer to it as a rocket flail. And every time she hits someone with her flail,
she moves them and heals people.
Heals everyone around her. And then she's also got a heal that you could throw on people, in which it not only heals them, but it also builds up armor for them if it brings them over their max health for a short period of time. And her main ability, Rally, I believe it's a wide area thing where it gives everyone around them like healing / armor and makes her move a lot faster. So nice. She looks like a very interesting character. I'm very excited to try her out when she gets off the PTR.
Yeah, I saw a couple clips of her in action, and she does the Lucio Voop.
Yeah,
which is good for knocking people off of ledges or into pits. It's really cool. She looks like a fun hero.
Yeah, she looks like a lot of fun, and she may also be responsible for Rocket Cat at some point. So
if Rocket Cat ever happens,
yeah.
My interesting question is going to be, like, she's releasing soon, so she's going to be releasing in the middle of the Overwatch League year. Do we know what Overwatch League is doing, what their rules are with regards to new heroes that come out during the course of the season? Are they banned, not used until the next season?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's not going to be allowed to be used until the next season.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure, I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, that makes the most sense. I don't think Moira is allowed. She may be, but I don't remember.
I think I saw somebody playing
I think
Moira, but Moira came out before the season started. So.
Yeah, right before, true. But Moira also is ridiculous if you could use her right. Mm-hmm. Like, I've been playing with the Chinese New Year event that's going on. I've been playing Capture the Flag, and I can't tell you how many times I've soloed getting the flag with Moira. Because, as I've mentioned before, with the way Capture the Flag works now, if you're like Winston and you go to use that jump ability, you drop the flag. And a lot of these different characters where you have abilities that let you move faster or whatever, you automatically drop the flag. With Moira, you could throw your healing orb in the same direction you're running, so you could just keep healing yourself as you're running with the flag. But Brigitte is going to be very, very good. It looks like. Very interesting character, and I'm excited to get to try her out.
But speaking of the Overwatch League, how's that going?
It seems to be going pretty good, unless you're a New York Excelsior fan, because someone lost to the team they beat earlier in the day in the championship.
But it's okay because it's just for the stage championships. There's still 5 stages, and then there's still the main championship, and they've beaten London before, so it's not that big of a deal.
And I mean, they do have the best record overall right now in the Overwatch.
They do. They have a half a game lead pretty much on the Seoul Dynasty, who they've beaten. And if they win their match tomorrow, today, which is going to be, I have it right here, Houston Outlaws. They beat the Houston Outlaws. They will be alone in first place.
Yeah, they will be at 12-2, and Next host is Seal, who's at 11-3.
Yeah, for those of you guys who are curious, who are watching this live, this isn't really going to apply to people who are listening or watching this on YouTube. We've got for today the final day of week 2 of stage 2. We've got Philadelphia Fusion versus the London Spitfire, Houston Outlaws versus the New York Excelsior, and Shanghai Dragons versus the San Francisco Shock this week.
Yep. Go New York.
So, yeah, lots of some good things. Looks like Dallas Fuel, poor Dallas Fuel. they're back in 9th right now. Gotta try and pull themselves up. They unfortunately drew the Seal Dynasty this week, which sucks for them.
Yeah, I think the team I feel the worst for though is Shanghai.
Well,
I'm pretty sure they still don't have a single win.
They're also not that good. Other esports news, by the way, that I was talking, which I did not. Are the Houston? Actually, before we transition over, Joker asked how the Outlaws, the Houston Outlaws, are good.
Yeah,
Joker. They are in 4th place right now. They are 13. They are 9-4 through 13 games. If they beat New York today, they move into a tie for 2nd.
For 3rd.
Tie for 3rd with the Los Angeles Valiant, and that would also knock the New York Excelsior into a tie for 1st with the Seal Dynasty. But I think if they do any tiebreakers, New York would be in 1st still because they have a win over the Seal Dynasty.
Yeah.
If that's how they handle tiebreakers, I don't know. So yeah, the Outlaws, they win this game. They're just 1 game back at 1st place.
Yeah.
But in other esports news, I wanted to talk about, just briefly touch on some PUBG esports that's been going on this week. There was a Twitch Rivals tournament this week, which was really good. It was entertaining. It had a lot of different streamers. Dr. Disrespect and Dr. Lupo. Dr. Lupo was originally a Destiny streamer. Now he's more of a PUBG Fortnite streamer.
I was about to say, did Dr. Disrespect take the whole thing?
No. They were in a team together. I actually can't even remember who won the overall thing because I only caught the first 2 games, but it also featured Shroud from Cloud9 and like some of his buddies who are all pro gamers. So they won 3 out of the 5 games.
Nice.
They kind of stomped some people. We also had some other really good PUBG streamers like Choco Taco and Krupadoop and people like that. We also had Jenna Marbles, apparently. She streams and she was on one of the teams.
Cool.
Her and I believe her boyfriend or husband or fiance or whoever her significant other is. I think they were both on the same team. So lots of various different streamers. It was nice to watch each. The coolest thing about that tournament was because it was all streamers. They had their main feed, which is what I watched, just because I wanted to see everybody jumping around.
Yeah.
But they allowed every single streamer to stream the tournament on their own stream from home.
That's cool.
So if you wanted to see if you wanted to see how everybody was doing in the overall thing, you could watch the overall thing. But then if you're like, oh well, I'm enjoying this, but they're not showing enough Dr. Disrespect. I want to see what Dr. Disrespect is doing. You can go right to Dr. Disrespect's channel and see what he's doing, or Dr. Lupo, or the other people on his team. You could go to, if you're like, like the mainstream is like, oh, we've got this engagement over here, but there's also this other engagement over here, and you want to be like, oh, I want to see the Krupadoop engagement. So you go and jump over to Krupadoop's channel and you check him out. So it's like, cool. It was really cool and really interesting. And I don't think this is the first Twitch Rivals that's been done. But I want to see more of these in the future. Like, it was a little weird because, like, PUBG is a game where there is skill, and skill will shine through, but there's also a lot of luck because it's where you choose to land, what the random spawns are going to be in that area, how many people decide to land with you, and whether or not the circle is going to be close to you or way the hell away from you.
Yeah, like you could land there and be like, sweet, I got a crowbar. And then it's like, oh, look, that guy's got a shotgun, and there goes my face.
Yeah. And there's also another PUBG tournament going on this weekend. Day 3 is going on right now. It is a PUBG tournament in Kiev with actual esports teams. So you've got Cloud9, Team Liquid, Team Solo Mid, and all those different teams from around the world basically playing each other in games of PUBG. They've had 2 games so far. They have more games today, which is Saturday, and they have more games tomorrow, which is Sunday. So if you guys are looking for some PUBG action, keep an eye out for potential future Twitch rivals. I think that's what I called it, Twitch Rivals events, and check out the Kiev Chicken Dinner PUBG esports thing going on this weekend.
There you go.
So just wanted to touch on that stuff because, as you guys know, I like to play quite a bit of PUBG on the stream when I do gameplay, just a little bit.
You playing PUBG? No.
I dabble. It's a light dabble.
I guess you play that about as much as I play Overwatch. So
yeah, pretty
not that much, right?
Yeah, not that much at all. On to other video game news. The ESRB is a new development along the lines of the whole loot crate saga we got going on. The ESRB has decided they're going to now put labels on games as part of the rating system to mention when microtransactions are going to be involved. The label is being called, where is it? They have an official name for the label. Where is it? I don't think it. Whatever. But it's going to be applied to games with in-game offers to purchase digital goods or premiums with real-world currency. Said the news release. This includes not just loot boxes, but also bonus levels, skins. Loot boxes are surprise items, so also item packs, mystery rewards, music, virtual coins, and other forms of in-game currency, subscriptions, season passes, and upgrades. Which is like do it to disable ads, I guess, for mobile games or something like that. I don't know. So this is basically ESRB's way of trying to
help.
Not so much help, but maybe try and be like, hey, legislators, you don't need to govern us. We can self-govern. And I don't think it's enough, to be honest with you. Yeah. Like, I don't think a label is really going to stop parents. It doesn't stop parents really from buying mature titles for kids. So I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe if it gives people more knowledge, it will. I feel like the ESRB kind of may need to take a stricter stance, and the video game industry needs to take a stricter stance on loot boxes and all of that. And also the problem with this labeling is it lumps all different types of microtransactions together. And and they weren't clear on whether or not they will further clarify with this label if, it'll be what kind of the microtransactions will be. So you don't know. So people walking in see, oh, it has microtransactions. But you don't know if it's for a season pass, like a one-time season pass, where you know what the content you're getting, or if it's a random loot box where your kid could get addicted to it and be like dumping steal your credit card. I'm going like off the rails here, but take a credit card or take their hard-earned money from their like summer jobs or whatever and just burn through all of it on these loot boxes.
Well, the one thing I will point out as to why I don't think it's that terrible as an idea is me speaking from my past as a manager at a GameStop for roughly 3 years where I worked there, in which a lot of the times parents will see things like that. Like if they put that on the ESRB and they see microtransactions or whatever on it, they'll come up to someone and be like, does this mean you have to keep paying for the game, blah, 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 blah? And at least there you'll have someone who is supposed to know about these games who could explain to you, well, this is what you could buy in the game, but it's not necessary, and they could explain what exactly it is. Like, it'd be, oh yeah, that's because they have a season pass or it's extra DLC you could get for the game, or, oh yeah, it's loot boxes for you to get cosmetic items, or it's Battlefront 2, so it's shit, so just ignore it. Things like that.
So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's good for GameStops, but that also doesn't factor in what about people who buy games digitally.
No, that's true. I'm just saying that that's the one reason one way I see that it might help a little bit is, people will ask questions.
Yeah, so we'll see if it actually does anything, or if government's like, no, you've gone too far and we've already started, so too late, you had your chance and you lost it.
Yep.
So we'll see as this microtransaction and loot box saga continues and moves on. Next up, just a couple things. Twitch has made some clarifications and adjustments with a couple of things for streamers. One is regarding apparel, and basically to sum that up, you can pretty much say bye-bye bikini streamers. Potentially. Probably. Maybe.
So, let me ask you this, because you read up more on this than I did.
Yes.
Would we be allowed to stream this live if, let's say, I were doing the stream with my shirt off, but wearing the WWE Championship here we have for predictions over my chesticle area?
No.
So we would not be able to stream.
I don't think so.
Now, what if
maybe I don't know.
But if I'm wearing a shirt and I have it like that,
can we just stop? Just stop. Basically, what the new rule, what the clarification is that they originally had said, if you're going to like be on stream, wear clothing that, is appropriate for like going out to a mall or something like that. Like basically casual clothes.
I think this works.
But like as far as like skin tight or revealing stuff, like workout clothes or bikinis and stuff like that, they said it would be appropriate to be wearing fitness clothes and showing it off if you're doing a fitness stream. Like you're streaming, talking about fitness, talking about maybe the materials, maybe showing off some workouts. Or with a bathing suit, it's if you're like doing a IRL stream from a beach.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. But like basically what this means is that people who like female streamers who stream in their bikini, play games in their bikini to get views, so that way people can admire their assets outside of their gaming skills. That's going to hurt them. But for regular people like you and me, like if you're just wearing a Mario t-shirt and your hair is maybe a little disheveled like this, you're fine. You're okay. That's not an issue. So I think this is mainly designed to try and crack down on streamers who try to use their physical appearance and sexuality as a means to gain views and subscribers, because Twitch kind of wants to stay away from the whole sex side of streaming.
There's the whole rest of the internet for that, guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of places on the internet to get your fix there if you want to find it. So go there. Don't go to Twitch. So the second Twitch thing was just clearing up some confusion over a streamer's responsibility for community actions. And basically what it means is if you're a streamer, take control of your community. Don't incite your community to spread vitriol or hatred to other people. Don't make them don't let anger fester within your community. Don't let if your chat is like bashing some streamer, like don't say, yeah, that streamer's awful, go raid that streamer, something like that. Or don't encourage them. Don't ignore them. Try to take control of the conversation and tell people don't do that, and like start threatening timeouts or bans. So basically just take a good attitude towards your community, build a good community, and get rid of people who are toxic or could cause problems. For example, we just banned that dude who posted that link in there earlier, and now his messages are gone. That is an example of what Twitch wants you to do. They don't want you to allow toxic, hate-filled people to fill up, their platform. And just real quick before you chime in, I just want to double back on what Big Stupid and Joker said. Big Stupid says until one of them sues Twitch for being sexist. I don't think that works.
Yeah,
because
private organization.
Because if you're wearing something that has no reason to be worn, like in the legal system, you need a legal you're broadcasting on their platform. They have the right to set like standards so long as they're reasonable, and I think that's a reasonable standard. Don't be wearing a bikini or being shirtless if you're a guy with like your massive pecs. If you're just if you're on camera.
It's similar. It's the idea of it's their own private company where they set their rules and regulations for using it. And it's the idea of, well, if you were to get a job with a company and they were to tell you there's a certain dress code and then you tried suing them for their dress code, it wouldn't work. That's like if I went to my job where I have a very specific uniform I have to wear, and I were to tell them that I think it's BS and I want to sue them for it, they'd be like, yeah, no, you agreed to this when you sign up to do this. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to dress like that, you don't have to be here. But we're not going to let you do this because we don't want that. And you can't really tell them that they can't do what they want with their own company.
Yeah. And Joker, you can't show your six-pack while you're streaming. Unless you're doing a fitness thing in which you're showing off crunches and core exercises that show why you've got a six-pack. Yeah, you shouldn't have clicked on that, man. Don't. That's why I originally had links banned in this chat. But then even though I added exceptions for YouTube and Twitch, people were putting YouTube and Twitch links in there and still getting tacked by getting punished by the system we have. So I might have to just don't click random. If random people come in here and they post a random link, don't click on it. So it's cool.
No, you're right, Bixie. But someone will probably try, but that dog probably won't hunt.
And Cam, yeah, don't do that. Don't go to other channels and try to get this channel taken
the
down.
thing I went to say before in regards to the whole getting control of your community and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, DMurph here with a public service announcement. Do me a favor. Don't be an ass. How's that? This message has been approved by Super Grapple Bros.
Am I doing it right? Am I doing it right?
You gotta...
Oh, I gotta get the wink.
Okay, I think that's enough dead audio for a podcast.
Okay. All right. So, another thing I want to touch on really quick. That's showing for his AFK kills he gets. Hey, that was quality entertainment. All right. You know what? I had to take a bathroom break. I came back. I happened to find an AK and some people that weren't moving. I took advantage of the situation.
Hey, it's an every man for themselves game. I mean, you wouldn't yell at Seth Rollins for attacking Roman Reigns in the Elimination Chamber, would you? Huh? No, it's every man for himself. He wasn't being an ass. He was just trying to play the game the way it's designed. Don't be an ass.
Yeah. Okay. A couple quick hits we're going to do. Metal Gear Survive came out, and it did not get good reviews.
Yeah.
Apparently, what they tried to do is they tried to take Metal Gear Solid 5, reskin it, added a couple different systems, or use that game world and that engine, come up with a ridiculous story to try and make a zombie like horror survival game out of Metal Gear. And apparently it didn't really work too well. The story is kind of and the what's the word I'm looking for? Resource system is awful.
Yep.
Apparently you have to eat and drink constantly, and if you sprint, you have to drink more because you get thirsty quicker. And apparently water is not that abundant, so you have to like.
I got this from here. Hey, Konami, I do enough of that whole needing to eat and drink thing in real life. I don't play video games, so I have to stop every 5 minutes to eat and drink. I do enough of that stuff in my daily life.
What boggles my mind is the fact that like we've already been through this in video games. Like people have tried to integrate these kind of systems before and they haven't worked. And like the last ones were like 5-10 years ago. So why would a major studio try to incorporate this?
The only time it has really worked at all is with like the Fallout games where it's an option
or the
to
Sims.
Choose that.
Or something like the Sims.
Yeah, the Sims. But I mean, like games like Fallout, it's a similar kind of thing. You're in this post-apocalyptic world trying to survive, and you have the option to do a survival mode where you do that, but that's not the default.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was that. The other quick hit thing, Pokemon turned 22. Happy birthday, Pokemon.
Happy birthday.
And if you were lucky enough,
Pikachu.
And if you were lucky enough, I don't know if they still have them out now, but if you were lucky enough, you were able to open up Snapchat and find that you could have filters for Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle.
Oh man, I only saw Bulbasaur. That's BS.
Yeah. Apparently they also had Charmander and Squirtle.
When? That's BS.
I don't know. Maybe you picked the wrong day. Maybe you picked the wrong time. Maybe you didn't scroll through the. Maybe there was a special way to scroll through the Pokemon filter exactly, so that way you can switch which Pokemon you had.
If that's the case, I'm gonna be very mad because no one told me.
Have either tried Hunt Showdown yet, or the pirate ship game? No.
If by pirate ship game you mean Sea of Thieves, I have not tried it.
I did not hear good things.
Everything I saw of that game, it didn't look like a great game, but it looked like so much fun.
It also looked frustrating. I watched Say No to Rage play the beta, and he got stuck in a hole multiple times.
Yeah.
And when he got stuck in a hole, he had to exit the game, go back in, and he lost all progress of his quest, and he had to spend money to get the quest back, and he had to start back from the beginning of the quest.
Yeah, stuff like that.
And there's also griefers out there.
Yeah.
There are people that will grief you because they're the place where you turn in and get quests and turn in your chest to get money, which you use to go get more quests, is not a safe zone.
Yeah.
It's not a safe zone, so you can just kill people as they go to get stuff. So it's not. I don't know how it's going to shape up. We'll see how it does in the main game, but I don't know. Some of my clanmates played it. They said it was like about an hour's worth of enjoyment. So
yeah, I've
kind
seen
of upsetting
a bunch
to hear.
of people play and just having a whole bunch of fun. I think one of my favorite things I've seen people do is you're just going along on your ship and then just decide for the hell of it, I'm just going to jump off. And you jump off and you watch your ship sail away. And then a mermaid shows up and it's like, hey, you want to go back to your ship? And you're like, sure, why not?
Yeah. Yep.
But it looks like fun. If it were to come out on PS4, I'd probably pick it up to try it out. But
yeah, currently it's just PC and Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Another piece of news: H1Z1 is leaving Steam Early Access, and they added a Cars-only Battle Royale mode, which I watched Shroud yesterday stream it, and doesn't look that good.
Okay.
It's called Auto Royale, and basically what happens is your squad of 4 drops in, and you're all in a car. One person drives, and the other 4 people shoot. So one person is stuck as a driver the whole time, and you're driving around the game world. You pick up like boosts, like you pick up fuel for your car, you pick up weapons for your teammates to use, and you have to shoot and run into cars and win. So it's kind of like Mario Kart Battle Royale, where your teammates are your gunners.
I'll say this.
It's interesting, but when I was watching Shroud, they were just driving in circles around this one town with no other vehicle near them, just picking up upgrades, and it looked dull.
I'll just say this. It sounds okay in concept.
Yeah.
But sounds like you can't really translate that to actually being good in actual play.
Yeah. And yeah, it just left early access after being in it for years. And yeah, I agree with Joker. It doesn't look that good or enticing to me. I think H1Z1 was trying to be different and find an angle of the Battle Royale genre that nobody's been touching, so they could try to get people coming back to their game, because H1Z1 used to be the biggest thing, and then I can't remember what it was, but something else came out after that took its place, and then PUBG came from that, pretty much.
Basically.
So, yeah. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Auto Royale. I would not recommend it. And then the final piece of news that I want to get to is it is 2018, and we're in March officially. You know what that means? That means we're almost 3 months away from E3, everybody.
Jesus.
And we have our first
Jesus
E3
Christ.
press conference date. Going out with a big one. Bethesda has announced their E3 showcase for 2018. So you guys are going to want to make sure you tune in on Sunday, June 10th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern or Pacific time. That is 9:30 p.m. Eastern time and 8:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 p.m. Mountain time.
Just quick side note. This is a sign that I know that I'm getting old. Because I'm looking at this like, but wasn't that just a couple of months ago? How has the time gone by?
Nah, it's been almost a year. So that's the last bit of news we wanted to touch on, was that that E3 is coming, and Bethesda is the first company to announce when their press conference is going to happen. Sunday, June 10th, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Yep.
And that's going to do it for episode 33 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. We are all done. Felt good to come back and get to chat, talk wrestling and video games. Do not forget, guys, you can catch us live on Twitch every single week. You can join the chat and get involved in the conversation with us. You can catch us in VOD also on Twitch, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/LMurphoReal. The Twitch channel is twitch.tv/L_Murpho. Do not forget to also like, subscribe, and comment on YouTube. You can find us in audio versions on various different places: SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, plenty of other places where podcasts can be found.
Rate, review, and subscribe, please.
And those reviews and ratings do actually help a lot, because that, especially on iTunes, it allows for people to actually see our podcast when they search for it. You have to be a verified, actual, rated and reviewed podcast in order to be searchable and in order to be visible to people. So please make sure you check it out. You do not forget also, you can email us at supergrapplebros@gmail.com for any questions, concerns, trivia ideas, topics of conversation, all that stuff. You can also check out my Discord server, the El Murpho Discord server. I have a channel in there, a text channel, specifically for ideas, questions, trivia, pitches for Super Grapple Bros there. You can find it in my description on Twitch. It's one of my sections there. Or you can find it in the description of the YouTube videos as well. And do not forget, last but not least, you can also find us on Twitter. I'm L_Murpho. He is
DMurph_42.
And we like to live tweet whenever we go live on Twitch. It's normally every Friday or Saturday. But the exact time and which day it is, we don't really know until it's close to happening. So
yeah,
if you check us out on Twitter and keep up to date on us on Twitter, you will know when we go live. I also set an announcement whenever we go live on the Discord server. So that's another good thing to check out the Discord server for. Yes. And that is all of the house cleaning or housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
I always confuse that. Housekeeping. You want me to jerk you off?
God.
Tommy Boy reference, guys. Apologize for the language.
Great movie though.
You want hot towel?
Please go away. I'm trying to sleep.
You want fresh pillow? Oh, it's you. Okay. Will we live stream Fastlane? When is Fastlane happening?
A week from tomorrow.
I don't know yet.
Neither do I.
It is Saturday, and I do not believe I have to check my work phone and my work email. But as of right now, I do not have my schedule, my work schedule for starting Monday through the rest of the month. So
Yeah,
I don't know. It all depends on whether or not I'm working the Paralympics. Which
and I also know that next week I don't know how I'm going to be because, quick thing I'll let you know, but I almost forgot. I am going to be doing a special work schedule. Normally I'm off Fridays and Saturdays. Next week I am working Saturday night into Sunday, and then for some period of time on Sunday, I don't know. So I don't know if I'll be able to watch.
We'll see. We will see. And yeah, again, like Paralympics start on the 9th, so I don't know what my work schedule is going to be for that yet. I did do the Olympics, which Swagbox had asked about earlier. That's why I was gone on hiatus. It was stressful. It was a lot of work. It was tiring, but it was fun and very rewarding. And I'm glad that
I never saw that idea I gave you, by the way.
I pitched it. If they didn't use it, not my fault. I related to the right people, but it just never got through.
I'll make sure I tweet it.
Anyway, I think you have something to send us home with.
Yes, our kayfabe news article of the episode is WWE adds Fastlane sign hanging in arenas to give mid-carders something to point at.
That's good.
Yep.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
That's good. All right, guys. That's going to do it for us. Until next time, peace out. Deuces the deucey deuce.
Peace.
Bye.
Shut up and sit down.